You'd be surprised to know I just got off the phone with a customer, and she was saying it just got hot out of nowhere. It was cool one day, and the next day it's just mash up the place.
But it's a different kind of heat though down there, isn't it?
Oh yes, it is. In Florida, it doesn't have that humidity. You don't feel that infamous film on the skin.
Right. Oh man. Well, you're in Big Ochi. How's the tourism going now since? Let me keep it civil. Since January, how's the tourism going?
Tourism is going great. Every day you see a new cruise ship on the coast. The Norwegian Carnival, they come here all the time. And just the other day I was saying, wow, there's a lot of tourists here, and I forgot it was spring break. Springtime. Yeah. I don't know if it's spring yet for the schoolers or the children in school or the people in school, but it's that time and the place is getting flooded, man. I'm telling you, it's really nice in Jamaica when you see people from everywhere at the same time. But that's what Jamaica's all about, out of many, one people.
Well, we thrive off of tourism, don't we? The question that I have, the number of tourists that you have, though, are those coming from the United States or from other countries?
From what I've noticed, there is truly a blend. Jamaica is truly a special place. I always told my friends, I said, you know what I've noticed about Jamaica since I moved here in 2012? If you have something that starts doing well in Jamaica, you might as well say you're worldwide. You meet people from everywhere here. Holland, Russia, United Kingdom, United States of America, Canada, Hong Kong, India.
Wow. Well,
Nigerians are here.
Well, it's a fact that we are a brand now, aren't we? Been a brand for a minute.
Oh, yes.
And I think, again, it's easy, I guess, to talk about it from this perspective. I'm up here, you're down there. Mm-hmm. But being a brand, I think are we really, as individuals, taking advantage of it? We are a brand. We belong to CARICOM. We have a good link now with the continent of Africa. Are we really taking advantage of that branding that we have? Can we honestly say
Most
that?
Most definitely. I honestly, on the ground, there are a lot of business owners, small business owners on the ground in Jamaica pursuing futuristic, progressive endeavors.
Okay.
With the new laws that are being made globally, with the new technology that connects us globally. A lot of business owners on the ground. It's hard in Jamaica. There's a lot of red tape. Resources sometimes can be an issue. And the reach isn't always working in your favor. Sometimes your hand becomes a little bit short because you're working from a country many have labeled as the scamming nation of the capital of the world, most violent country, some would call it. But even Marco Rubio and Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, did a live interview the other day on the news, and they were saying how Jamaica has reduced their crime so drastically that they want to take that model and take it to other countries. And now, in the area that we once had a bad stigma, now we're role models. And the same thing is happening in business, John. Same thing is happening in business on the ground. Sometimes I believe, looking from the outside in, it's hard to see because you see local. Same here. We don't get all the facts on CNN in the highlight of international news, But most definitely, I would say that business owners are here and they are taking advantage of the new connections that are emerging globally.
I happened to have migrated back in 68. I didn't have any choice. My parents made all those decisions for me, and obviously, we looked upon the United States as the haven. Roads are paved with grow, and money grows on trees and all those kind of things. So we migrated here, and I've had a wonderful, wonderful life. But I often think about, like you said, with the technology and the world economy as it is right now, could the average kid born in, St. Thomas or Cockburn Pen or Waterhouse actually take advantage of this new technology, this new world order that it is out there. Because I've often wondered in my mind, I've said, if I had to start over again, could I go to Jamaica with the knowledge that I have now, as far as, like you said, technology, the business knowledge that I've had and all that, and how could I relay that to that average guy that is born in, Trenchtown, to say to you, you don't have to go to the United States anymore. You don't have to go to Canada. You don't have to go to UK. You can do it right here, as long as you have a solid internet connection and possibly a good, Apple computer and a cell phone. Do you think that kind of thinking could come through to fruition?
It'll be hard, Mr. Perry. I got to be honest. It'll be hard because you hit the nail on the head when you came to the point and you said the thinking, the trust is low, the teamwork is low.
What about the individual?
Being available?
What about the individual also? Because as I have learned, you could go to school for a number of years. You could be around the best mentors and everything like that. But still, it comes right back to you. One of the things that I've discovered in multi-level marketing, to be quite honest with you, no other way of saying it, is that strength of personal development. It comes back to you as far as you thinking, our mindset. To me, it seems like in the third world we have a certain mindset which is keeping us down. Am I off base there or not?
It's an invisible force that is on the minds of the people, and it's almost like the way we were raised, our own traditions, our own family rituals, if you want to call them that. Just the way we live as Jamaicans is shrouded with things like superstition,
right?
Shrouded with a dash of toxicity, and a lot of times I used to get, my mother used to beat me, John, when I was a baby. Speak Papa English. Speak Papa English. You don't want to hear no patois in that house.
Oh my God. Well,
but if she
did a good job, but like you said, no, you're backyard, you're a Yankee.
Stop. I'm saying tree. It's three.
Yeah. But let me ask this now, because I've often myself gotten ridiculed. You say you couldn't go backyard. No, you wouldn't be accepted and all that. How is that language?
You'd be taken advantage of.
I would be taken advantage. Is that to say you're being taken advantage of then?
Yes, sir. Once they smell you have the accent, price gone up.
Praise God.
And the thing about it being on the ground, John, that as a person looking to develop the community,
right,
from the heart, from the spirit, I say to myself, wow, it's not like in America, one price for everybody. They have it in their mind that there's a local price and there's a tourist price. And I think that has to stop in Jamaica, that mindset there. Set a price and offer it to the public. If they can afford it, they can afford it. But I do understand making it affordable for people who can't afford it. But the thing about that, after time goes by, they get locked in mentally with those prices and stop striving to afford the higher price things in life, which sometimes are the more the things we find more enjoyment in. And I think that's a sin all in itself, to stop aiming high. And we may be known to have a lot of ambition, but on the ground we're such humble people. We have so much humility, and we keep that as a core. And I think that allows in the society in Jamaica, from Negril to Port Antonio, Kingston, back up to Ocho Rios, it allows for a mentality of relaxation that has to be acted on by a greater force, the physicists would say.
Has to be acted on by a greater force.
Yes.
Wow.
It's dormant. It's dormant, and they like it like that. And if you try to change it, I know Jamaica this. We there's a part of Jamaica that wants to progress and a part that doesn't. There's a part that wants to keep it just as it is. And I can't imagine why we can't merge the two. Africa's so progressive right now.
Oh yeah.
Jamaica can be so progressive right now. not just Nigeria, Kenya, the things they're doing in South Africa, we should take note.
Right.
We should take note. The solar power, the portable solar panels, the prompt engineering, the inclusion of AI.
But you
they're
know,
robot butterflies in Africa.
Yeah, I made a statement on the Sunday call, which obviously not everybody that's here listening today had it, and I think it's so relevant. Mm-hmm. There was a young lady that made the comparison Africa versus Jamaica, you know, and you're making the comparison also, that they are so progressive in Africa versus, and they have almost the same plight as we did, colonialism.
Yes.
You know, and all those kind of things. But I think the big difference, and I'll state it again, that I think separates the two is the fact that the regime that we grew up in Jamaica and also in America, Southern America, back in the times of slavery, it was quite different than what the Africans went through, in that the Africans didn't come across a guy called Mr. Willie Lynch. I happen to believe that the Willie Lynch phenomenon still exists today. Mm-hmm. I think, you know, for over 200 years, this man instilled a certain myth, fear within us that is still within us today, subliminally. And again, the comparison again, Africa versus we here in the United States and also in Jamaica, there is a block that we have. John Maxwell talks about something about the law of the lid. It's like we have a lid, there's only but so high we can go, and we kind of tamper down after that, not thinking that it's, you know, sky's the limit. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I see your point. Definitely see your point. It was just not recently I found out Willie Lynch was in Jamaica before he came to the United States of America. John.
Yeah,
did you know that?
Yes, he was invited by the slave owner. Yes.
I've been in America 27 years.
Yeah,
they never said that. We heard about Willie, but we never knew Willie was in Jamaica, keeping it irie.
Yeah, man. Willie Lynch started. What did he discover? How to put us in our place.
It's like he hit the eureka button.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. And he was so good. He was requested and mandated from the slave owners in the South of America, you know, South Carolina. He landed in South Carolina.
Okay.
That they sent for him. His methods were working so good that, you know, they sent for him to come to the States to domesticate their slaves, their black slave population. And there is
the contrast that I'm sorry, I just like to even highlight the contrast, being an American, being in Jamaica, and seeing the two different effects of the Willie Lynch effect.
Oh, yeah.
In a country that's primarily African.
Yeah.
In a country that's primarily diverse. Yeah. The diversity turned into racism.
Exactly.
Coupled with the Willie Lynch mentality. In Jamaica, in the Caribbean, in the CARICOM, it has coupled into a status prejudice.
Ooh. And I made mention this morning, a lot of people don't even mention it, but I'll mention it. There are black colonialists still existing in the Caribbean today.
Oh my God!
And I personally believe that there, you know, when you talk about the propaganda, man, don't come here, you know, boy, bad and all that. I don't think it's being perpetrated by those that are on the low end. I think there's a certain echelon that is really doing really good. They don't want you to come down there and threaten that.
Oh yeah.
They don't want you to go down there and threaten that, Scan.
It's funny you bring that up. Somebody was requesting that I make a documentary about the 1% in Jamaica. They say we hardly hear about the ultra rich, the super rich, and we have them here.
Oh yeah, they're in
people retire here.
The exploitation is still. Oh my goodness, yeah. It's still there. It's still there. But
it's still there.
It's still there. But I think we can overcome it. Because again, like you said, 1%, that's 99% of the people, you know, can't do anything about something, or at least try to better themselves. But like I said, I think it's a mind thing, though. Yeah. It's a mind thing. You know, I can't go to and convince you. As a matter of fact, I'd be a threat to you. You know, trying to convince you, because you know, like I said, John Maxwell talks about the law of the lid. There's only but so far you think you could go. But I'm here to tell you, you can pop that lid. You can you could break that ceiling open, man. You could pop the lid, but it has to come from you, though. It has to come from you.
There's only so much the government can do. The government of Jamaica can only do so much. The United States government can only do so much. It's really up to us.
It's really up to us. You know, and
for
to
families,
for everybody, you know, and to a certain extent, we here in the diaspora, to a certain extent, we are facilitators. as harsh as that sound, we are facilitators to a certain extent. You know, those of us that have broke through, so to speak, have come to the United States and gotten a job and all that. We are facilitators to a certain lifestyle down there that, and I don't even think we look at it. We look at it as kindness and, well, me never have it, so I'm going to make sure him have it and all that. That's facilitating.
It is a way of life here. I even heard a guy say it one time. He say, I work, and I've always worked. But without the help of my family, even with a job, I don't know how I would make it. You know, he had 2 children, a wife, working full-time at a hotel. His wife was full-time at a hotel. He said he don't know how he would make it with a 2-income household.
Wow.
You know?
That same conversation.
It goes a long way.
Yeah, but that same conversation could be had here, can't it?
Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
You know, it's just, we're living in a very different world, man. But I really believe, and like I personally believe we're seeing in Africa right now, one of the things I think they're discovering is who they are, who they were.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So if my ancestors were able to achieve, you know, the pyramids, and there are certain places that we have, you know, giant-sized figures. You know, we're the cradle of society. If you really study who we are, where you came from, your DNA, and that's what it takes to live.
Imagine being taught that from a child.
Oh man!
You know, I have a vision for Jamaica. One day we're going to be just as literate as Finland. Just the literacy rate in Jamaica is going to skyrocket through the roof in the next 10 years with technology and these children that some parents have called brood of vipers. They're going to be the leaders. They're going to grab onto the technology, and they have the heart for Jamaica. They love Jamaica. They really want to see Jamaica do better, progress, and be a first world nation. I see the literacy rate going up. I see the automation rate going up, the generation rate going up, the production going up, the internal production at home, on the ground, the factories in Jamaica. People have ideas here that are just so progressive, and I see it taking root now. I remember I was in Dominican Republic, if you don't mind me telling a story really quick.
Go ahead.
And I just saw a magazine. I was in a lobby waiting, and I picked up a magazine, started reading, and the article was talking about the Caribbean being equivalent to Dubai in the UAE by the year 2030.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe it. I said, how is that going to happen with that mindset? In Dominican Republic, in Haiti, in Jamaica, in Cuba. This mindset in Dominica, St. Kitts, St. Thomas. How is that? How is this Willie Lynch? I'm not as good as you. I'm better than you, so I don't have to do nothing. What I do, I don't want you to do, so I'll stop you if you try. How are we going to make it through that? Get teamwork, trust, build skyscrapers, build bridges that possibly connect the entire Caribbean.
Yep.
People have made prototypes, you know. I'm not the only one to think about it. If we had more reach, we'd reach each other better.
Right.
How are we going to reach these things? These children are going to do it. They're going to be the future. our children are going to be the future here, and it's just so important that we believe in them, with them, for them, as we pray for them, as we discipline them, as we guide and instruct and direct them.
What would you say is the major thing that's holding us back at this point, though? What is the biggest obstacle that we have, you foresee as being in the way of that progress? You're talking about Marcus Garvey's dream now, by the way. What is holding us back from that manifesting in itself?
Well, first I'd like to give respect to Honorable Marcus Garvey, the UNIA Foundation in the motherland, and all the supporters of the Pan-African movement, and even the spectators and skeptics. Thank you. The brother had a wonderful vision, and I believe today, in 2025, the biggest hurdle to achieving Marcus Garvey's vision has got to be our love for what we have been offered by our colonizers. It stops us from coming to the conclusion that we can reject what they have offered, create what works for us, and accept it from each other. We can co-sign our own reality. We can co-sign our own nation. We can co-sign our own future. But there's a school of thought that says we're lucky to be this far if it wasn't for the transatlantic slave trade. There's a school of thought that says we can only go so far before it becomes an issue. There's a couple school of thoughts that, though there may be reality in those corners, they're not the overall reality. The truth is we have to accept these things. And if we continue to accept these things, if we continue to be in love with these things, these, what I call, Mr. Perry, I call them babies of colonialism. These baby ideals from colonialism. And I'm going to get into some things on another show, another day. But I think we've done so many spin-offs, we're lost. We've recreated that wheel so many times. We don't know where we are. And we definitely don't see a way to look within and look at our brother and sister. Just in your family. We don't have to do the whole community if you're not comfortable with any community. But let's just fix the families. Let's just start there. And we would conquer so much.
Well, I think, like you said, though, I think we have adopted too many Western ideas, philosophies. Even one of the things that we had going for us, which I personally believe is like one of the last vestiges of what we had, was our food, our diet. We're more Western diets, as I understand it now. If you really want to impress a girl, Kentucky Fried Chicken on a Sunday afternoon is the way to go, right?
You better know it. You better know.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. So what happened to our steamed callaloo and okra and steamed fish and all those kind of things? So we're abandoning some of our basic things that kept us healthy.
Yes.
That, because in my opinion, there's a tremendous epidemic going on right now, health-wise, in America. Not just black folks or whatever, people in general.
In general, obesity.
It's
nutrition.
It's tied. Our health is tied to dollars now. So not even the doctors are making decisions anymore towards our health. It's the insurance companies. It's the insurance companies.
When it's business related, you can't be sure.
You can't be sure, And I think we're adapting the Western philosophy as far as eating and everything like that. But you forget now the Western societies have their doctors, and there's more medical facilities being built and everything like that.
Yes.
We don't have that in Jamaica. We don't have that medical thing. Stronghold too, and then we're losing our diet. You know what I mean? We're losing our diet. The things
It is so true what you're saying. And when I got to Jamaica, I noticed the amount of people that are, what is the word? Amputated? Is it, John?
Yeah.
Missing a
Limbs.
limb?
Yeah, amputation.
It is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. And then when you look at what's being offered in the stores,
Yeah.
it's all sugar based.
Yep.
And I love sugar just as much as anybody does. A good sugar rush should put me in the right place right now, but
Empty calories. Empty calories. Empty calories.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
John, our people are dying from this sugar thing. And it's just another one of these things you're pointing out. This health, we got to be conscious because we're not being offered the best. In America, you have the Food Department Administration, FDA.
Right.
It's if I said it right, my apologies.
FDA.
I don't know if you can trust them.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
They're just finding out about red 5, yellow 5. Yeah. Come on, man. We've been eating Skittles from you were a child, and you're more senior than. Oh gosh.
Well, we have to be a little bit more intentional about our health. What we put in our mouths.
Yes, sir.
We have to be intentional about our health. And to me, it seems like we're going backwards. I remember when I was growing up. We didn't get a chance to go to the doctors as much, but we had our community bush doctors, them, so to speak. I remember my mother asked, "So what's wrong with you?" All right, I'll be right back. And she knew which one to go pick, which herb or root to go pick, or even if she didn't have the knowledge for it, she would have somebody in the area would know. You know what I mean?
Yes. Community.
We just don't have that anymore, And even right here in America, I'm learning now we have to be. One of the contentions that I have about our health today is we have a lot of research going on, and there's more medicine on the markets now than anything else. I'm just saying to myself,
yes,
who are the research being done on that I am being treated with? Because again, my DNA, is a much different. My body mass is much different than the people that they're researching and all that.
Very valid point.
So you went ahead and researched with that, and then you're going to put that result. You're going to treat me with it. There is a difference.
In the genetic
makeup, most definitely. And I've got to question that. But you're putting us all in that same pigeonhole. I don't think it's right. And it came to fruition for me because. Whether you know it or not, I had a bout with cancer, and I post-cancer.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I had prostate cancer, and I opted for the laser treatment, taking out and all that, and then afterwards, I had to do follow-ups and all that. But what they did was, there is a algorithm. A chart. That's what I'm saying. There's an algorithm that says if you are 62 years old, you went through and your PSA is this and all that, then you have to go through radiation. Okay, not looking at me individually,
at all.
I call it the Marcus Welby treatment versus what's going on today. The Marcus Welby treatment was, your personal doctor. You was sick at home. He's coming with his bag to your house and treat you and all that. We don't have that anymore. You show up. There's a chart. You're this year. This number of age. You're old. You have this ailment. Your blood type is this. Your blood pressure is here. This is where you're supposed to be. You take this pill and go home. You know what I mean? And it doesn't. To me, it doesn't work. They got you figured out, but I don't think
it narrowed down the options.
It doesn't work.
So
we have to we have to be a little bit more proactive and almost intentional. We have to really look at what we're eating. We have to look, at exercise. You talk about amputation, and I don't know exactly why these people had to be amputated. I could guess, and I call it the silent killer, diabetes.
It's the silent killer.
Diabetes is the silent killer. And how do if you can't afford a meal, how you can afford insulin? You know what I mean? You're gonna eat whatever is given to you. And here again, you know, we're facilitators. We're sending all this food back home. What are we actually sending back a yard? It's in a can, right?
It's in a can. It's processed meat. It's corned beef. It's the things we grew up on and we love. Corned beef and cabbage. And
you know, it's processed food
mackerel
and all that. You know, macaroni, rice. You know, because it's cheap. I can run down to the dollar store and man, I can fill a barrel.
Fill a barrel with it, and you know, it's much appreciated, but it's just not healthy. And we got to take the time to think about each other.
Yeah.
What am I putting in my brother? What am I putting in my sister, my son, my cousin, or whoever you're sending it for?
Man, when I was growing up, everybody had a little garden. Everybody had a little garden. Man, that was crazy. Go buy callaloo. Yeah, buy callaloo.
I was just thinking about it. Listen, this world is so flipped upside down, John, that if you and your family are going through a hard time right now, and mommy and daddy don't know where breakfast coming from on Sunday morning.
What?
You feel bad. You feel bad to go out and have to go hunt some banana and plankton. No, it should be the opposite. You're not having hard times. You're having natural times. You're on God time. You're in God's abundance. It's oh my gosh, the forest is filled with so much fresh fruit you wouldn't be able to imagine it all.
Exactly. You know, we were blessed.
But we're making the rat race our first choice.
Yep. You know, so, you know, outside of some of it, we have to be blamed for. You know, we have to be blamed for. We have to rethink exactly what we're doing as a country, and it has nothing to do with the government or whatever. We individual. You know, the scamming and all that. Let me tell you something. Just like, you know, I used to have a lot of stores in the hood, and though I did not, I was in agreement with what they're doing, but I understood. Okay?
You understood.
I understood.
Oh my God.
I understood. You know what I mean? I'm not
the reasoning.
The reasoning, man. You know, I understood what was going on. I'm not complicit with you or anything like that, but I'm not going to damn you down for it either, because I understand. You know, I hear people on sometimes, man, I would never do that. I don't care how it, man, unless you walk in that man's shoes, shut up.
Come on, brother.
Unless you walk in his shoes, don't say shut it up. You know, just let it go. But we have to individually. Government can't fix it, like I said. We have to look at what's going on and just say, listen, I want a better life for myself. If not for myself, at least get going as far as, you know, your offsprings that's coming up. So I admire what you're doing down there. I'm going to try. Let's talk a little bit briefly. I know that you didn't have that much data. How long can we go here now?
Should be okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and shoot.
Let's talk a little bit about, I know that you have embarked on movie making down in Jamaica, and I've always thought that movie making could be a big industry. As a matter of fact, I thought it was at one time, and I thought it was on its way to, you know, really build up. I was looking at Snoop. Snoop was down there, you know, he was getting involved with Snoop Lion and all those kind of things. Where are we within that sphere now, as far as movie making, you know, as far as the North Coast and all that?
Yeah, I mean, from my personal research and studying the creative people on the ground here, there's, you know, you have the guerrilla creatives, the grassroots creatives, and then you have the professionals. It's hard to reach the professionals that put on the daytime television, even CBM, TVJ here. It's not that receptive. It's almost being from Atlanta, Georgia in 1989 and trying to get a hit song on the radio. You have to go all the way to New York City, baby, if you want to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a ladder. You got to climb it, and being that there's so much creativity, the vast amount of storytelling that is here in Jamaica could supply the world. I don't know where it is right now. I'd say my personal mission is to recreate Jamaica's film industry. I want to commit my life to Jamaica having a compassionate image via film, via media, via the broadcasters, a compassionate image. Yes, We still rebel. Yes, we still get up, stand up, fight for our rights. But we take the time to think, and where it's available, we show compassion first. This is the image I want to create in Jamaica moving forward. The film industry here, we're known for very little. For very little. The bigger they come, the harder they fall. Jimmy Cliff has been decades.
Yeah, decades.
Decades.
Yeah.
Mr. Marley's son, Ziggy, Shatters. It's almost 2 decades now since that's been created.
What about One Love? What about One Love?
One Love was a smash hit. Smash hit. It didn't get a lot of support in Jamaica, but I love the movie. I loved it.
But didn't it bring in?
Now I understand it.
But didn't it boost up the economy? I know there was a big deal when they first started. They started filming in Jamaica. You know, my take was they were bringing jobs and attraction to Jamaica. You know, other movie makers would say that should have been a good place to shoot. That didn't get the residual effect.
Not underground. A lot of people on the ground were totally upset about the patois. They said wasn't Jamaican enough. You know how we are. They said he didn't hire enough Jamaicans. There weren't enough Jamaican stars in the film. They wanted Jamaica wants to see. Jamaica wants to see. But now I understand Ziggy and his production focus and his vision. Yeah. Because the lack of teamwork and trust on the ground is so that a film industry could not survive. God bless Los Angeles and the people that survived the fires and all the people that lost their homes over there. But the amount of teamwork in Los Angeles that has went on to create what we know as Hollywood is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is.
It could not have happened without teamwork, synergy.
Right.
Of people from different walks of life coming together, whether they were grouped by common things or uncommon things, they came together, they produced a film. We were entertained, your generation, my generation. We loved John Singleton's film, Boys in the Hood. Yep. It gave us a direct look at race and poverty in the urban areas. We love those personal takes. Jamaica's filled with those. You know?
But what will it take?
I just understand Ziggy now.
What will it take to... are we depending solely?
People like me.
Okay.
It takes more people like me. It takes more people like you. It takes more people like us. It takes more people that want to make a change here so bad. We create the change ourselves. We become the change ourselves. When there's enough of us, we will be Jamaica. The old will become new, you know, and this will be the majority in a short time. I wholeheartedly feel that's true for my island, for my people. In a short time, we will have a brand new makeover via the landscape and via media. Due to political interest. Some people aren't satisfied with the government of Jamaica. They are doing their best with what they have to work with, and they are making great strides. It doesn't matter who's president. The people of Jamaica are really in control of Jamaica. I know a lot of countries don't run like that, but the people of Jamaica run Jamaica. And it's going to stay Jamaican. And the Prime Minister who's there right now is Mr. Andrew Holness, doing a great job. Some people disagree with him, but I'm in Ocho Rios. I saw the crime detour myself. I was hearing gunshots, then I wasn't hearing gunshots. There was a lot of people on the corner, then there wasn't a lot of people on the corner. You know what I mean? The criminals start to scramble and run and flee and shuffle. They're going to Ochi, they're going to Montego Bay, they're going to Kingston. He made them shuffle and squeal. So we have a different Jamaica to look forward to, and I really believe we're never turning back. We're moving forward, and from here on out, we're going to know a safe Jamaica, peaceful Jamaica, all-inclusive Jamaica, not just the hotels. But even in a trench town, you see what I'm saying? You can come to Trench Town and see drones flying, different technology from China, and people utilizing things to teach the children there to make sure they have a future that they can look up to for their own people, for themselves, and not just dreaming of, I have to go to America to achieve something. You can achieve it at home, right here in Jamaica.
Well, I know that you're going to be an integral part of that, and my brother.
We are, John.
You know, we are. Yes,
we are. Yes, we are, because it shows like your show. I mean, you're on all the time. You do so much. You give so much to the community. It's people like you that are opening the doors for the underdogs that no one has heard of. Howard Leslie, the movie maker God spoke to. And if you want to, you can Google me. You can connect with me on all the social medias. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, at the movie maker God spoke to, with 2 O's on the word two. Or you can listen to CRRFM Network, because I'll be listening to, calling in, and hopefully I'll be back again to speak some more. Yes. Because these topics are the ones that matter most to our people, and this is where my heart is.
You're absolutely
with the movement.
You're good. You're right. My friend, I thank you very much. Very happy, very proud of what you're doing down there, and just continued success. Okay?
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you, man. All the best to you as well.
I appreciate
God
it.
Bless.
Bye-bye now. So Howard Leslie, everybody, inspiring filmmaker, repositioned himself down in Jamaica since 2012, and we just want to wish him the best of luck. We try to team up with him as much as possible coming out of this diaspora. It is coming up to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We thank you so much for being here with us on the CRR Network Radio. You're listening to Life Raw and Real.